coverage.
More experience.
More stats.
And that's final.
ET Final Score is brought to you by Ashley Furniture.
Hello, and welcome to our ETFinalScore.com high school preview show. It's week 4 of the high school season, and I'm Phil Hicks. I'm joined by Chris Perry today, who covers the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders. Hey, Chris, now the Red Raiders broke a 10-game losing streak. What about the Red Raiders? Are they in good spirits now?
Yeah, they hope it's going to be a 10-game winning streak going forward. It was a big victory. I mean, just for the confidence, the fact that they started off 0-3 with the new coaching staff, and many of these players were on all of those, they saw that scoreboard 6-7 times last year. It was a big deal just to get over the hump. And I think it showed in the game because Lee really was in control of that football game. I mean, they're up 10-0, 13. They really possibly could have gone in with a 21-0 lead, even a 24-0 lead. It's 10-7 at halftime. It's kind of having to learn to win again, having to have that success. And I think that's what made that game so important, is that they were able to kind of learn how to win again. And now they face a very difficult test in Mesquite Horn in district play.
Now, what was the key to that game over Texas High? Was it the defense? They seem to be playing much better defense.
I think the defense has had such a turnaround from the early weeks in the season. And Shane Anderson, the defensive coordinator, tells me that is because these guys are getting familiar with their positions. A lot of these guys have never played some of these positions before. But my goodness, they play John Tyler. They hold John Tyler to 14 points. I mean, JT scored 21, but only 14 was given up on the defense. And then they hold Texas High to 7 points. And so I think that's going to give them so much confidence going against a Mesquite Horn offense that has been putting up 28 points. 28 points seem like every time they step on the field.
Now they play Horn this week, Friday night, 7:30. Okay, Chris, what about the rest of the District 12 5A?
Well, hang on, I got myself a handy-dandy little thing to help me out with that. When you're looking at it, I mean, Longview's obviously the team to beat. They're the team that wins district, it seems like, every single year. And even though they've lost their quarterback in the first game of the season, they seem to have righted that ship with how well they played against Lufkin. Mesquite Horn is a team that went far in the playoffs. So did Mesquite. And Rockwall Heath is a team that's come up from 4A to 5A, but they have been playing pretty well. So Lee has to break into that 4, and that's the challenge. That's really the challenge. Is you look at those 4 teams. One of them, Destry White from Mesquite Horn, who Lee's going to play on Friday. Mesquite has a quarterback who I think has thrown for 15 touchdowns already. I mean, he's amazing. And then, of course, Longview is that established district team that always does well. And Rockwall Heath is the bit of the wild card. You're not quite sure what you're going to get from them. I think that's what Lee's facing right now. And I think the coaches, they keep telling they've told their kids they want to be playing for a district title at the end of the season. They're not, let's try to make the playoffs. Let's play, and that's good. That's the kind of positive thing they need to be thinking about, especially coming off a victory.
So this is a 17 district, right? So 3 quality teams are going to be left out.
Very much, I think so. I really do. I think North Mesquite is a good football team, and so is and Robert E. Lee has the potential to be a very good football team. Rockwall's shown some things, so that means someone's going to unfortunately not be playing when it matters most in this district, and that shows you how good this district is.
Welcome back to our ET Final Score High School Preview Show. We're joined by Shane Stark, who covers the East Texas area. That's about 60-something schools. But we have a game of the week each week, and it's our ET Final Score game of the week is Gilmer and Gladewater. They're 2 old rivals. I guess it would be more appropriate to be on Halloween since they're orange and black. What about the Gilmer and Gladewater, Shane?
Yeah, it's always a game everybody looks forward to each year in those communities. One of the I guess every week we seem to have these big rivalry games, but it's actually one of the biggest ones. I've heard stories in the past of, them going to each other's towns and messing around a little bit. Gladewater has been one of the surprise teams this year. They started off strong, 3-0. They lost last week, so they're looking to rebound this week. Gilmer, which had a big loss earlier in the year to Plano Prestonwood, has bounced back with two big wins. So I think both of these teams, are coming in with a confidence, and also it's the district opener for 16-3A.
That's true. That's a tough district, and that game is at Jack V. Murphy Bear Stadium, 7:30 Friday.
Yeah,
So
one of the great venues in East Texas.
oh yeah, I enjoy being there. Coach Murphy was one of my favorites, and that's great that a venue like that is named after him. Now another big game is two rivals right down, I believe, Highway 64, and that's Chapel Hill and Henderson. They met for the state title two years ago, and then Chapel Hill won. So it's back-to-back state titles for this two East Texas communities.
Yeah, last time they met each other was at Cowboy Stadium, one of the most memorable games I've ever covered. 28-21, I believe, was the final score. Henderson won. Very dramatic game. Last year, everybody was hoping that these two teams, which were in different regions at the time, would meet again for the state title, but Henderson came up short in the semifinals. Chapel Hill, of course, went all the way through and won it. Now they're in the same district, again, District 16 3A. Big opener. Both teams got off to kind of a slow start to the season. Chapel Hill was 0-3 and Henderson was 1-2, I believe. But both bounced back last week with big wins. So again, two teams are coming in with confidence.
Now this will be a key game for both. I mean, I hate to say it, a district opener, but it's really a key to the winner. He has a really up on everybody else.
Yeah, you get out. 1-0 is always a great place to be in district.
Mm-hmm. Now White House, which is in class 16 4A, right, I believe. They're off to a 4-0 start. That's the first time in many years Wildcats have done that, I believe. And they even received some votes in the state poll the last couple of weeks. But they go down to play a very good Carthage team that is ranked in 3A. Can the Wildcats keep it going?
Hey, that's what they're hoping for. Last week they had their first true road game of the season, and of course they went on the road and beat Marshall pretty bad, beat on 60-14. So this is a good chance for them to learn a lot about themselves. Carthage, another team that's bounced back this year. They lost the season opener, now won 3 straight and are rolling. White House, of course, 4-0, putting points on the board. Seems like they're getting hotter as the games go by. So it's another one of those that you really, really want to, if you got the Twitter or anything like that, it's one of those games you want to keep up with.
So those two games, Henderson's playing at Chapel Hill, and I believe you're covering that game. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll be there.
And then White House is at Carthage. Both of those games have 7:30 kickoffs. All right, we're back with Harold Wilson, who covers the number 4 ranked John Tyler Lions. And Harold, the Lions are 3-1 after 4 games. So give us a little rundown about JT after these 4 games.
Well, the one thing that jumps out is who the 3 wins were against. They beat 3 5A schools. This has some fairly good run of success here in the last decade, beating Lufkin to start the season, coming back after a loss to Lancaster, who's now number 3 and 4, knocking off Robert E. Lee, which has been a struggle for him here in the last decade especially. Then coming back last week and beating a very strong Mesquite Horn team that was really a complete team. They just made a run to the 5A state quarterfinals 2 years ago. So looks like, they can step up to the competition. When the competition's high, they've been able to rise to the occasion. And that's a sign. And last week they won a game that really had a lot of adversity. They had 3 of their top offensive weapons go out, and they went scoreless in the third quarter, and all of a sudden they get 2 late touchdowns, and the defense made some good stands when they need to. So right now, if nothing else, they seem like they can step up, to the level of competition.
Very good. Now this week they have a mystery game or mystery team for most East Texans. I know Tyler Junior College at one time played the University of Mexico, but I believe this is the first time John Tyler's ever played a team from a foreign country. Yes. And that's UANL. I'm going to let you explain what that means.
Yes, this is kind of the mystery team. It's the University of Autónomo de Nuevo León. They're located in Monterrey, Mexico. And this team's been taking on other high school football teams from the United States the last few years, and they won a couple of championships down there in Mexico. So they've had a good run in their country, and they're trying to kind of extend and see how they stack up against, obviously the birthplace of football.
That's going to be exciting. Now, how did this game come about?
Well, I think one of the things that made it come about was when John Tyler went to a 16 district, and all of a sudden they had more non-district games available. This is the last non-district game. I think they were in a 17 district, well, actually an 18 district with only 3 non-district games in the 2 years before. So going to a 16 district made them have to play 5 non-district games. So I don't think they were ready for that hole in the schedule. Then, John Tyler's had a good run of success. So, when you're looking for that one game, maybe your options get limited. That's what Coach Holmes said. So this team here is looking to play strong teams anyway. They played schools like Stony Point. So for them, it's a learning experience because they know they're already one of the best teams in Mexico. So playing a good, strong program like John Tyler didn't matter to them. And JT said they were low on options. So that's how it came to be.
It's kind of exciting. I know some teams from Mexico have played soccer in Tyler, so now we get to see American football, which is kind of. Well, what do you know about this Tigres team?
Well, I know they got a little size, and they've got experience playing over here now. It's not a test case like it was. They've had some success playing the American team. They've had their struggles this year, but they've shown that they can compete. They got a modern offense. They run the spread. They got a traditional defense over there they run. I believe they run a 3-man front, and I mean, they've shown that they can move the football, and this is a select team, I believe. It's not just one school. They're pulling from some of the best schools in Monterrey. And like I said, they won, I believe, 2 national championships in Mexico. So this is not just a team they just picked up, brought over here and said we're going to have fun. This is a team that plays football. They take it very seriously, and they want to play the best and be the best.
So I know they can draw from a very big city. I think that's the second largest city in Mexico, behind Mexico City. So what is JT's approach to this game?
Well, I mean, looking at the scores, the Monterrey's had those first 3 games, they lost their first 3. It seems like on paper John Tyler shouldn't have a problem with them. John Tyler's had some injuries, guys like Reggie Gibson, running back, he struggled. Jeremy Wilson, slot back, he got hurt last week. And the quarterback, Greg Ward, he's been nursing that ankle injury. So they want to be able to open up a big lead early and be able to rest some guys and get some other guys some key experience. That's what Coach Holmes was telling me they want to do. They don't want to play around this week. They don't want to have to pull out a game in the fourth quarter like they did against Lancaster. Even the league game was tight, and last week the Horn game went down to the wire. They want to put this to bed early, get some guys some rest going into that bye week.
And this game is a Saturday night game, right? 7:30 kickoff at Earl Campbell Field at Trinity Miller Francis Rowe Stadium. But you better get there early because the East Texas Fair is going on. Now, one more question, Harold. After this game, I believe JT has a bye, and then it's district. So what should we expect from here?
Well, on paper, through the regular season at least, it looks like John Tyler's seen probably the toughest competition they're going to face. The district right now, District 16-4A, they're a combined 3-15. So for them, it's good they had those tests against Lufkin, Lancaster, Robert E. Lee, and Mesquite Horn, because now you think JT is probably going to get to roll, and they've only lost, I believe, 3 games against 4A schools since they've been in 4A. And this looks like the good part of the schedule is coming up before the playoffs. So JT looks like they're prepared to get on the roll right now.
So this should be an exciting match. It's kind of neat to see an international flavor come to Rose Stadium in American football against a foreign country. So be sure and check back next week for our ETFinalScore.com high school preview show.